Fantastic ceiling, look at this. It's like the halls of Valhalla. I know I've used that comparison before at Gants Hill, but sometimes it's appropriate. This is a real vestige of former times, isn't it? The old public phone booths. Now with no phones in them. I suppose you can just go in there for a quiet place to make a phone call in the station. So I've come up to Cockfosters mainly because I've been reading Christopher Street's brilliant book about Camelot Moat called London's Camelot and the Secrets of the Grail. And among some of the slightly more spurious claims in the book, it does create a really potent kind of mythology for this area, but also brings in some of the kind of more traditional histories, including a mention of the Battle of Barnet, which I was aware of before, but never really was drawn out to the battlefield. So that's my principal aim today, is to go up to the Battle of Barnet battlefield. Who knows from there? I don't know where I'll end up today. Really have no idea. Once I go up to Monken Hadley, after that I don't know. It's not actually my aim today to follow the London Loop or to continue it, but I might do it, you know, by accident. Look at those views across the valley there, over to, I guess that's Barnet over there, High Barnet. What a beautiful building, fantastic green tiled roof. Real symbol of the outer suburbs, that type of tiling. I'm going this way, I believe. So here's the first portion of today's walk. Monken Hadley Common. It tells us there that the common was given to the village of Monken Hadley on the enclosures of the Forest of Enfield Chase in 1777. We are here. We're going to walk up here. The parish church here, Christopher Street, sees this as sitting on a ley line. Whatever you think about ley lines, you can pretty much join up anything with a ley line if you want, with a ruler. But hey, you know, it makes the walk a bit more interesting. Look, some signs of spring, of regrowth. Daffodils poking up through the ground. The peace and quiet of the woodland. Of course, this is an area of springs. This is where the Pims Brook bubbles up, not far away from here. And I walked along that last summer. Was it last summer or was it summer before? I'm losing track of time. I walked along it one summer anyway. This is Beach Hill Lake, I think. And I've only ever been here at night time. When I did that Pimsbrook walk, when I got here, it was dark. It was about 9:30. So it's the first time I've seen it in daylight. And that's the Pimsbrook down there, starting its journey to the River Lee. And that's a really good walk. Highly recommend it. It is ridiculously muddy through here. Shouldn't be a surprise really, since we're on such high ground and there's springs coming up. It's probably topped with London clay. But wow, it's quite hard going. I mean, look at this. Wow, this is glorious. Right up in the northern reaches of London, pushing out towards the border with Hertfordshire. So that is Suet's Hill. Sounds like a place that's got its stories. And it's been a freezing cold day, and we've had a little bit of rain shower. But you can see, look, as I've reached the summit of Suet's Hill, the sun has shone down. It's absolutely beautiful up here. Officially a tree hugger now. It's funny, you know, because when I got near the end of that London Loop walk, although it had been great, I didn't think I would repeat that experience. I found it a bit restrictive and I wanted to wander off and see other places. And today I just had the desire to come back here, and although I've kind of picked my own route, I am actually following the London Loop, although this strict path might be slightly, you know, a couple hundred yards away, but I am more or less, and I am thinking of heading towards Borehamwood. Whether I'll make it in light or not, I don't know, which is where the London Loop goes through. So, yeah, across the railway line now, onto the next section of the Common. Cawing of the rooks, or is it the crows? Cawing of a crow, cawing of a rook, cawing of a bird that is black and likes to make a big racket. Look, this is great. These are obviously things that people have found that have been lost on the Common, and there are these nails here where people attach them. Isn't that great? I mean, I'm assuming that's what it is, unless it's some sort of weird swingers code. But so this is the only map I've got, actually. It's the Land Ranger map, so you can see it's not very detailed, it doesn't really have footpaths on it. We're here now, Monken Hadley Common, and this is the battlefield behind the church here at Barnet. Oh wow, that was quite a steep climb. This is obviously a place of hills and river valleys. This is a great little bit of woodland here, isn't it? I believe this area is called Pridion's Hill. So here we are now on the edge of Hadley Common. Isn't it beautiful? So this road here, I believe, is Camlet Way, which, according to Christopher Street, was originally Camelot Way. Quite why they changed it to Camlet from Camelot, I'm not sure, but he says it was marked on the old maps as Camelot. Before, actually, the writing of the original version of the Arthurian legends. So there you go. We'll just go for a quick look at the church. I've learnt not to expect churches to be open on Sundays, so let's have a quick look around the exterior, because it's not really the aim of the walk today. It can often be interesting. Bearing in mind the slightly mystical undertones of today's walk, what with Camelot and ley lines and all that. It's always good to find an obelisk on the route. I think it might be open, actually. Ceiling up there. It's quite majestic, isn't it? This is quite a quaint little corner of North London. Very villagey. And I think about to become quite wet. Looks like it might rain. Some very old looking almshouses over there. This is on still in Hadley Green. Trying to find some real indicator of the location of the Battle of Barnet that took place here in 1471. And it's considered to be one of the turning points in the Wars of the Roses that placed Henry IV on the throne. But I think actually in reality the battles took place all around this area. I think one of the battlefields was marked on the map as being the other side of those houses behind me. But from reading accounts of it, the armies came in from all sides. And a factor in that battle was that it was very, very foggy that morning. The battle started early in the morning, very early in the morning. And the fog played a decisive role. It created a lot of confusion. Forces were scattered throughout the area, and then there was lots of kind of skirmishing throughout the day. And yes, the side of Henry IV came out victorious. There's a nice little footpath here leading to what is marked as a sunset view. Although it's a little bit early for sunset, although it's very gloomy. It just felt like it was sort of hail just now, very light hail. It's a day of all weathers. A little patch of allotments here. As I've said many times before, I don't like walking across golf courses. It's far too easy to get lost. But I don't have a lot of choice. There are indeed some really great views from up here on the golf course. I think I'm going to try and carry on towards Borehamwood unless the weather really turns against me. Never been to Borehamwood before. Been through it on the train but never been there. I actually didn't realise I was in Hertfordshire. Probably not for very long. But now, across the road you can see, welcome to the London Borough of Barnet. Ill omens along the roadside. Some quite extensive and elaborate fly tipping. Not quite of the quality you find around Essex. This is a little bit more careless and random. Bottles and packets and things, rather than the contents of entire houses like you find on the Essex fringe. I don't know if there's any meaning in the fact that this corner of London, this very edge, the outer limits of the city, is marked by a Waitrose shopping trolley full of bags of rubbish. I don't know what we can read into that. Another fine old church there, and with its obelisk in the grounds as well. The well-to-do streets of High Barnet. Reminds me a bit of Hyams Park, oddly. Well, this is curious. What lies behind these grand iron gates? I could really do with a cup of tea. It's about 3:30, so it's the perfect time for tea, really. I can't see where I can get tea around here. So they must be the Whalebones of Whalebone House. So golden hour is really delivering for us. It's coming up to 4 o'clock. Last hour of light. I keep trying to find little kind of footpaths to make this journey with. Oh my god, look how muddy this is again. Just starting to think my boots were clean enough to go into a nice pub, but maybe not. Yeah, I keep looking at my phone on the app and the large-scale Land Ranger map I've got to try and find footpaths to take me through to Borehamwood, but it's pretty tricky. You need a proper Ordnance Survey map, and there's too many golf courses out here. They really eat up the land. And this little path here can just road walk it, you know? So I'm going to head up now along Arkley Lane, and I hope there's a footpath at the end that will lead me across the fields towards Borehamwood. But I don't know. It could be one of the situations where I'm going to be stranded in the middle of nowhere in the dark. This is a really lovely little windy lane leading you out of London, really. Right on cue, a black cab. Ideally, this is where I would do one of those shots where I put the camera down and you see me walking, but it's nearly dark and I'm starting to feel a little bit tired actually, so apologies. So in your mind, try and imagine that shot of me walking down this lane. It's lame, I know, but what can I say? I didn't get a cup of tea back there. Slightly worryingly, I just asked a lady for directions back there to make sure there is a footpath and it does come out onto the road. Apparently it leads back in the direction I came from, comes back out onto Galley Lane. So I'll be going further away from where I started, well, from where I was about half an hour ago, back in a big circle. But if that's the case, so be it. We've had some muddy paths today. This is a candidate for the muddiest, right at the end. Only way out is through, as they say. By the time you watch this video, my book, This Other London, will have been published in paperback. Yes, 4.5 years after it was first published. It's coming out in paperback. The hardback sold out, and there's a paperback edition. So if you don't have the book, take a look. Put links below. That's a very clear and unambiguous warning, and one that I shall definitely heed. So the red triangle is apparently where I am, near Saffron Green. I do want to turn left at some point though and head over here. Okay, moment of truth here. I was hoping for a path heading left towards Borehamwood. Let's see, that lady seemed to think that there was only a path going back in the way I'd come. I think obviously her local knowledge is spot on. This is left. This is where I thought of going. No unauthorised access or shooting. Pretty clear. There is a public bridleway. Carrying on. I think I'd rather do that. Let's plough on. Okay, here we go. Whole new levels. I just sunk right into the mud. A little stone bridge here leading to a lane. I wonder if I can go that way actually. It looks like it just serves that farm or that cottage. And that might take me out towards the road. So this is Arkley Lane through Saffron Green. What a beautiful green lane. Like Arthur Hippisley Cox's Green Roads of England. And here we have one on the northern edge of London. Well, it's not the end of the walk, but this is always how you hope a walk will end. With a sunset and a nice view. And Arkley Lane, I believe, comes out on the Barnet Bypass. And then I think, well, I don't know how I progress from there, but let's wait and see. You can hear the distant sound of the Barnet Bypass, which is coming just up ahead. About 10 minutes of light left before it gets completely dark. So here I am at the A1 Barnet Bypass. I have rather overshot Borehamwood, and now once I cross that road I've got about 3 miles to Borehamwood station. Oh well. It's amazing how often I find myself in this position, isn't it? I think I would have learned by now, but obviously not. So this is an award-winning bridge. I think on the basis that you could ride your horse over it. I'm going to let you into a guilty secret. I actually quite like walking along really busy roads like this, at least for a bit. Something about the drama of it, being pummeled by the traffic, but, you know, from the safety of a footpath. It's been great being in Hertfordshire, a county of opportunity for the brief time that I've been here. Welcome to Borehamwood, which is joining the ranks of the towns around the edge of London that I've only seen in the dark. So it's in good company along with Harlow and Welwyn Garden City. Now I've just got to walk through the town centre to find the station. A lot of kind of industrial activity around the edge of Borehamwood. Massive offices, these little light industrial units here. It's fantastic. It's interesting to get your first impression of a place at night from the vantage point of arterial road around the town centre. Of course, Elstree is famous for its film studios, and here it is behind this hedge. Oh look, there he is, Leytonstone boy, Alfred Hitchcock, and it even actually says about him being born in Leytonstone here. This is where he made the first British talking picture, Blackmail, Elstree Studios, 1929.